We're joined by Cole Custer, driver of the number 00 for Stewart-Haas Racing. If you have a question for Cole, please raise your hand and we will get a wireless mic to you. We're kicking it off with Bob.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. Cole, I'm curious, how much talks have you had with people about next year yet, or are you waiting to see how some things play out?
I mean, you definitely have those things on the horizon, right? You know, with everything going on. But at the end of the day, we're trying to focus as much as we can on this year because obviously we have a lot left to race for. I mean, there's still half the season left. So if we can go and win races and compete for another championship, I mean, that's what I want to do. So I think at the end of the day, we'd take 1 week at a time and see how many races we can win.
We'll go to Holly in the middle. Holly behind you.
Hi, Cole. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service, and kind of the obvious question of the weekend, but have you found yourself liking road course racing more and more as this goes on? And how important is it to be good at it because of the significant number of races that you guys have now?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed it. I didn't come from a road racing background, but it's just been something that, as a driver, there's so much more going on. You know, you're able to hop curbs and shift and going left and right. And, you know, there's different things that you can do as a driver that makes it just more entertaining, probably. So it's definitely something I've always liked to do. And it's been a cool challenge to get better and better at. And I think hopefully this weekend it can all come together here because I've never won here before. So hopefully it can knock on the door this weekend.
We'll go to Cameron and then Alan.
Cameron Richardson, NASCAR.com. Cole, in terms of whether it's visual or timing for yourself, how will the Turn 11 barrier play a role for you?
Definitely a visual thing, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the same for everybody, so I don't know how much it'll really affect the racing. But it was something that was really unique before, you know, with how they had the tire stacks there before, because somebody'd hit them and they'd move in, and then you'd the more you could move in, the more grip there was on the track and on that paint that was there. So now we don't really have that effect probably because nobody's probably going to hit that wall in. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's taken a little bit away from what it used to be there, but I don't think it'll really affect the racing.
We'll go to Alan.
Alan Cavada, PRN. Between the repave and the wall, what's on your personal checklist for what you want to learn in this practice session? Like, what do you need to find out in that time for you to be successful?
You know, I mean, I think before here it was really big how you hit the curbs and how you really wanted to hit your marks. You'd almost, at times for me, you'd find myself actually being a little bit conservative just so I made sure I hit my marks on the corner because it was that important. But I think now with the repave is, you know, do you have to be as precise on the curbs? Do you have to, like, through the S's and turn 7 and turn 4, or can you kind of just blow some speed through there and, you know, not use the curbs anymore? So it's just we'll see how it is and see how perfect you really have to be out there. Because before, last year, you had to be perfect. You know, every single lap had to be exactly where you needed to be, where now you might have a little bit more wiggle room, I feel like.
Why can you be less perfect?
I think just because there was so much less grip if you didn't hit it perfect. You know, if you didn't hit that curb perfect last year, you were going to be just half the grip that you had if you hit it perfect. So now that you have more grip off the curbs, there's more wiggle room to, you know, not hit it perfect, I would say.
Do we have any additional questions? We'll go in the middle.
Cole, Curtis Michalka, Bay Area News Group. How many friends and family do you got coming up this weekend?
Definitely a few. It's kind of weird. I guess this is kind of my home track now. I mean, because Fontana's not around. So it's still like 7 or 8 hours, if I remember right, from where I'm from to here. But it's cool to be in California and hopefully have a good run here because I've never won here before, and it's a really cool racetrack. So hopefully make it happen.
With the SHR News, how long did it take you just to get over the shock and just say, like you said, start to focus on the season again?
You know, I think that first week for everybody was a little bit tough of like, okay, how's this all going to work? Like, what's going to happen? How's this process going to work? You know, that first week, it was just so many unknowns. I mean, it's such a shock to everybody. But I think now that first week is over and we've been to the racetrack since the announcement, Now it's kind of like, okay, we know what the deal is. We just have to kind of move on and make it the best we can. So I think things are starting to level out a little bit now, just because people know what's going on almost.
Hey, Cole, Anthony Flores with NBC Bay Area. Aside from being California and a road course, what makes being in Sonoma special? We've heard other drivers say this is really one of the unique spots on the series.
I think obviously the area. I mean, we don't go anywhere that's like this in wine country, and just how the hills are and how much elevation there is on the track. And I think the track also is so unique just because it has so much things that are technical about it, with how many sweeping corners there are that connect to each other. And you really got to be on your game around here as a driver. So it's definitely a track every single driver looks forward to and wants to win at, because it's wine country, and two, I mean, it's just a really cool place to drive at.